We're here to honor Joe today, but not Joe only. We're here to honor Rhoda as well. Grateful for these people, grateful for their testimonies, for their teachings of the gospel and their teachings of the Book of Mormon. And it's a great privilege to have them here and honor them as our Father Lehi and Mother Soraya recipients this year. Let's give them a little help coming up, folks. You know, Joe and I are both a little bit on the large size, and I know as we traveled around in Mesoamerica, we became known as El Guapo, the handsome one. That was Joe, and I was Olmeca Grande. But we had some great adventures, some great stories, some great times. Even though he kicked me out of the room, or he left the room one night because he said I was rattling the windows with my snoring. I don't believe it's true, but I think he just wanted more privacy. Yeah, come on up, Joe. Let's see. Presented to Rhoda Allen this day is our Mother Soraya Award. Presented to Rhoda, the Book of Mormon Archaeological Forum proudly presents to Rhoda Allen for her many years of unwavering support, for Joseph's scholarship, and for her love and devotion to the children of Lehi. Thank you, Rhoda. Did you want to say anything? Oh. I'm sure Joe will say more than enough. Rhoda says that she wouldn't be able to make remarks because you wouldn't be able to hear her. But I explained to her that I'm sure Joe will have enough to say for both of you. Brother Joseph, the Book of Mormon Archaeological Forum is very pleased to present the Father Lehi Award to Joseph L. Allen for his many years of outstanding service and leadership in the study of Book of Mormon geography and for his love and devotion for the children of Lehi. Joe?
Thank you very much. I traditionally never write anything down, but I've noticed that the last few years I ramble more than I used to, and that's saying quite a bit because I've always rambled by nature. But Rhoda and I would like to sincerely thank BMAF and for their kindness. I commend Dave Acey for his determination and diligence. I can remember him saying several years ago, that what he wanted to do may start small, but if they continued, it would grow. BMAF now stands along the sides of what Farms was and what FAIR is in the promotion of the historicity of the Book of Mormon. It's a humbling experience for Rhoda and me to receive an award that carries the name of Lehi and Sariah. There's a good chance that I don't deserve it, but there's an excellent chance that Rhoda does. To know Rhoda is to love her. By nature, she is quiet and a good listener. She has a keen intellect, a strong work ethic. She had a stroke 3 years ago, and it's affected her speech, but it doesn't affect her work. She canned 63 bottles of peaches last month. She bakes bread every week. She has a keen intellect, a strong work ethic, a sound business mind, a subtle sense of humor, and an undying commitment to her family and her religion. Rhoda wrote the following in her journal of an event that happened in 1971. It was here in Thatcher, Arizona, that we started taking tours to Mexico. Several of the Institute teachers knew that Joe had spent some time in Mexico doing research for his dissertation. They asked him if he would organize a tour that he could take them on. So he did. But after that, he said he'd never take another tour. But then he realized what an opportunity it would give him to do further research on the lands of the Book of Mormon. At Thatcher, Joe met Webb Goodman, who had married a girl from the Mexican colonies in Mexico and had taught school there. Together, Joe and Webb began taking tours to Mexico, and oh, what a roller coaster ride it's been, and what a wealth of experiences it has given us and our family. I wished I had time to tell you all of the traveling. I wished I had time to tell about all of the years of traveling in the wilderness, but I don't. End of quote. As we follow the latest, I'll try to read a little faster so I don't not appear very long. This was really only 10 minutes when I read it. As we follow the brief account of Lehi and Sariah, as told by their son Nephi, we learn the value of love and commitment and perseverance. And it didn't start with Lehi and Sariah, just like Joseph Smith's life and each one of our lives. There is a long historical attachment to our forefathers. So it was with Lehi and Sariah. Some of their forefathers had left their ancestral homes in Galilee years earlier and had settled in Jerusalem so they could be near the temple. Lehi was probably around 20 years old when Josiah, king of Judah, reestablished the Passover after many years of apostasy. A document discovered in the walls of the temple as it was being refurbished was a stark reminder of how far Israel had deviated from the law of Moses. Lehi had a strong commitment to the law, and he knew that his calling, like Joseph Smith knew about his calling, was that it came directly from God, and that it ushered in a new dispensation and was a direct fulfillment of prophecy. Sariah is only mentioned 4 times in the Book of Mormon, but those 4 times provide us with a glimpse of how her son Nephi perceived her. She was not afraid to let her husband know that she was worried about her sons who were on a dangerous mission to Jerusalem. She loved her sons. She is quick to partake out of the fruit of the tree of life along with the Nephi and Sam. That's called faith. And he crossed the wilderness, gave birth under adverse conditions, and crossed the raging ocean to their promised land. That's called enduring to the end. Rhoda, I'm not going to read all this. I've got 2 more pages. I just want to thank you, brothers and sisters. It's just too hard for me to. I do want to acknowledge all of our children are here today, and their spouses, and 15 of our grandchildren are here, and one great grandchild is here. Stand up or raise your hand or something. Where are you? Everybody who knows me, stand up. That's related to me. They're back down in this. Had a lot of fun experiences over the years with our kids because we started going every summer to take student tours, and we take our family with us. And some of you in this room have probably, I think, been with Todd on tour, and Todd has a great sense of humor and a great intellect and a great sense to serve people. And when he was about 8, 9 years old, he was taking people through the subways in Mexico City. And so he fell in love with Mexico. But on one occasion, as we were driving home, after a summer being there, it was Todd who said, he's about 8 or 10 years old, I can hardly wait to get home so I can go to Taco Bell and get some real Mexican food. But as our children grew up, they grew up with languages. They all went on missions. They've all been married in the temple, and they all received degrees. And it was Tawny, who was about 3, her youngest daughter, when she was about 3 years old. She said, my 2 favorite places are Wakanaka and Puco Puco. And that means Oaxaca and Acapulco is what it means. So grateful for the people who have traveled with us over the years. Some of you are here today, and it's been the minutes you come up and talk to us, it just brings back floods of memories, because those are a great experience. You cannot be with people for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, day in and day out, without knowing something about them. And those who have co-directed tours with us, and some of you are here today, we want to acknowledge your knowledge and your information. And so every tour became a testing ground for what was the current research that was taking place. Finally, I'm so grateful for the people in Mexico and Guatemala and Honduras and Belize, Central America. They've changed our lives. I've often wanted to be more like some of them. I think we've done a good work as Latter-day Saints living in the United States, as we've taken the gospel to that remnant of the house of Israel, as indicated in the title page. And I think that BMAF is doing an excellent work, as well as you individually, as we continue to do research about that sacred writing, because it tells us who they are, who their forefathers are, and their genealogy. And so to think of their great faith ethic and their love is something that I would have always wanted to aspire for. I'm thinking of President David Molino, a counselor in the stake presidency in Guatemala. Just a few years ago at a ward conference, he said, I would like to have had a letter from my father, a personal letter before he died. But he says, then I got to thinking, holding up the Book of Mormon, we do have a personal letter from our forefathers. And he bore witness of that. Bishop Rosas, when we lived in Mexico for a couple of years, had 13 children. He raised them on a roof, a 12-story building roof, with kind of a makeshift apartment for his family. Rhoda and I were their home teachers. And out of those family now, those children have gone on missions, married in the temple. Half of them are from Ephraim and half are from Manasseh. Next month, the temple will be dedicated in Quetzaltenango, Guatemala. The temple president is Israel Perez, Elder Brewerton knows him well. A full-blooded Maya. That temple in that temple district, it'll have the highest ratio of native soil people, native people in the entire world. And so the work of carrying that gospel message via the Gentiles, as indicated by Moroni in the title page, has happened and continues to happen. I was going to sit down. I'm just going to read the last thing here. Do you have a minute? I just said that. In the title page of the Book of Mormon, we are told by Moroni that it is written to the remnant of the house of Israel so they could know about the history of their forefathers. Most of us in this room comes from a Gentile background. And according to the same title page, in essence, it is our responsibility to continue to do research on the history, language, geography, and genealogy of that remnant of the seed of Jacob. May the Lord bless us to this end is my prayer in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.